rapidly growing global health problem that poses major challenges, most especially in developing countries. Find out how this international distributor of innovative health products came up with a series of solutions to help increase a patient's chance to survive the odds. In 2020, the Philippines hit a record of 354,398 prevalent cancer cases within a 5-year period. But because of poor access to health care, especially for people living below the poverty line, the advances and breakthroughs in cancer remain unattainable to many.
Cancer refers to a group of diseases that's characterized actually by cell growth, abnormal cell growth and proliferation, inflammation, as well as angiogenesis or formation of new blood vessels. It always starts with mutation in the genome or the genetic makeup of a person inside the cell. Before PPARs, most of my patients, they were unable to finish the chemotherapy regimens because of the side effects and because of discomfort during the process of chemotherapy.
Maria's son Dominic was diagnosed with stage 4 rhabdomyosarcoma when he was only 4 years old. While coping with the recovery of her other sick child, Maria found it hard to accept Dominic's condition.
It was actually very devastating kasi with Dominic, it was manifested mga 4 years old na siya. Unlike dun sa daughter ko na congenital talaga, baby pa lang. Yung mga bandang September, meron ng umuumbok-umbok dito sa leeg niya. Hindi ko talagang inisip na cancer kaagad siya until nag-nosebleed siya.
Dominic was prescribed chemotherapy, but his family insisted to rush to an integrative doctor to seek for alternative cure.
Medyo hesitant ako kasi as a mother, I know the side effects ng chemotherapy kasi. So what I did is that I rushed towards the integrative doctor of my daughter, who happened to be PPAR partner doctor of Simply Nature.
One of the hardest decisions to make for people living with cancer is choosing the kind of treatment that would work best. To help patients and their families deal with this growing health problem, one company commits to producing safe, credible, and natural health solutions by drawing on the latest bioscience technology to deliver a series of safe, efficient, and natural products. What is Simply Nature and what does it do?
Simply Nature is a company we created and founded about 10 years ago. Our mission is to find effective health solutions for people. So we provide natural products that work in combination with conventional therapy and medicine.
As an international company that provides natural solutions for cancer, metabolic syndrome, and degenerative diseases, the management upholds a health philosophy that centers on whole food nutrition as the frontier in health management.
When we talk about choosing treatment, especially in the area of cancer, patients are really afraid of chemotherapy because of its side effects, and they tend to then look towards natural products. But this is not a either conventional or natural choice. At Simply Nature, patients can have the best of both worlds. Our protocols work with conventional chemotherapy to minimize its side effects so that they can get the best treatment using both conventional and natural together.
Cancer is like a virus. It continuously evolves, it mutates. So it can develop defenses against our usual treatment modalities like chemotherapy.
Like I said, chemotherapy and radiation therapy have a lot of side effects. So more often than not, patients stop their treatment because of these side effects. It's very important to have the support.
With the supplements that we give the patients, there will be lesser side effects, so they will be able to finish their chemotherapy protocols more comfortably.
This company introduced PPARs, which is touted as one of the best natural ways of solving serious health problems.
PPARs stands for peroxisome proliferator activating receptors. It's basically a nuclear receptor found inside the cells. Now, when these receptors are activated, the benefit that you can get from that is, number 1, cellular differentiation. Number 2, it's to promote fatty acid metabolism. If you have better insulin function, your blood sugar will naturally go down. And another one is to induce cancer cell death by modulating the immune system.
As a sole distributor of PPARs, the company promotes its use to many reputable health institutions worldwide and actively organizes corporate health conferences and public health talks in Asia.
Simply Nature PPARs is made out of a special strain of these types of microalgae. It is very effective by protecting the bone marrow. We maintain the integrity of the immune system of the patient, which is very important to prevent infections and to fight off the cancer itself. And also, Simply Nature PPARs is also very dense in nutrients so that the patient can recover faster because of better cellular healing.
Sabi ko parang na-lead kami to an extraordinary and I must say amazing journey. I'm very proud of him. At a young age, na 8 years old, he believed that it's his purpose to siguro encourage other people then. We would like to really pay it forward with the knowledge that there's really, like Simply Nature, that can help people with cancer very much.
When fighting cancer, living healthy is very important because it allows us to pursue what is important to us in life, and that's what it's all about. When we can help a patient move from being bedridden to getting up, to be lucid in thought so that they can have conversations with their loved ones, it gives the whole process of fighting cancer a whole new meaning. And that is what drives us at Simply Nature.
But I really wanted to share yung poem from Chadao. So 100 years from now, it will not matter what my bank account was, the sort of house I live in, or the kind of car I drove, but the world made the difference because I was important in the life of a child.
Good morning, everyone. We are from Simply Nature, and that is Tito Shen, and I'm Tita Jessie.
And you put it on your chest, say, Jesus loves me.
Jesus loves me.
For our gratitude, Mr. Shan.
Ha? Ito na ba ang mga sundalo ng Israelita? Maliit man ako sa iyong paningin, malaki ang aking Diyos. Tutulungan ako ng aking Diyos at lalabanan kita at tatalunin kita.
Nayanig ang paligid sa pagbagsak ng gulayan.
natin siya kahit siya ay nasa ibang lugar ngayon.
Paano kayo di gagaling, di ba?
Pinupurit, sinasamba kita. And Lord, we believe you for testimony from every child in this place. In Jesus' name we pray. And all God's people say, Amen! Hallelujah!
Nung 2022 po, yung parang inipon ko talagang pera pambili nung Simply Nature, nung vials, ng PPARS. Yun po yung iniinom ko.
Cancer lang siya, strong tayo. Kaya patuloy lang po tayong lumaban kasi may Panginoon tayong gumagabay sa atin lagi. Yun lang.
And on behalf of the Simply Nature team, God bless you all. Maraming salamat for blessing us this day. We hope that we have made you all happy. God bless you once again. Here in Simply Nature, we are always with you from start to healing. Thank you, everybody.
CA markers.
Mataas siya. Then, nung after 3 months, nung pag-take ko ng Simply Nature, doon, naging normal na siya until now. Kahit si Dr. Johan na gulat siya kasi biglang normal agad. In just 3 months, nag-normal agad yung CEA ko. 1 year and 5 months. Cancer-free. Dapat may food supplements kayo. Like Simply Nature na proven and tested ko na. Talagang hindi ako pwedeng mawala ng Simply Nature na yan.
2019, I was being diagnosed a cancer of my uterus. So I was shocked. Sabi ko, bakit nagkaroon ako ng ganito? Samantalang hindi ako mahilig sa pagkain. I'm sorry, basura. Started the tablet and then the powder. Tinry ko din yung yung tawag dito.
Gel?
Yeah, yung gel. Yes. It's really good. After 2 months ng aking therapy and taking PPARS, sabi ni doktora, magpa-laboratory ka na. So, nung nagpa-laboratory na ako, praise God, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, lahat normal. To God be the glory. Salamat sa Diyos. Sa 2 months ko po ng aking pag-take ng PPARS, ako po ay cancer-free.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Simply Healed. I'm together with Dr. Jansen today.
Hello Sean, hello everyone, happy to be here again.
Today our topic is 3 rules to prevent cancer in your 30s and 40s. Just to clarify, it's not rules to prevent you from getting cancer at age 30 and 40, but what should we be doing if you're in your 30s and 40s to prevent cancer happening in your life? we'll start with the statistics, Doc. I know you're going to tell them the statistics of developing cancer before the age of 50 is actually very low.
It's actually very low. It's actually just 6%.
6%. But however, there's another statistics. If you are born after 1960, you have a 50% chance of developing cancer in your life. That would mean that the magical number is 50 and above. People start to fall like flies to the statistics.
Yes, correct.
And something my mentor said to me would make today's program very appropriate. My mentor said to me that your health today is what you did 20 years ago.
That's very true.
Right? And that will fall into the statistics that you say, right?
Yes.
So basically, people, once you cross the age 50, suddenly the cancer rate rapidly increases.
Yeah, so
that means what you did in your
30s and 40s would
determine whether you will get cancer. So now that we know how important it is, so those of you who are viewing our program today or have loved ones that are in this age group, this is an important program. In your 30s and 40s, what you do will determine whether you will have cancer later on in life once you pass 50. Okay, Doc, we are talking about preventive, but it is also possible that in our 30s and 40s we might develop cancer. If we were to develop cancer during our 30s and 40s, what would these cancers most likely be?
Oh, so that would be your skin cancer, which is the most common. The others would be thyroid, your breast, your cervical, and your colorectal cancer.
So that's mainly because of the activities in our 30s and 40s. We go sunbathing,
exactly.
We do sports, we go out. As we go older, we go to the mall instead.
Yeah.
Alright? Alright, but Doc, now that we covered that, what are the 3 rules everybody who's in their 30s and 40s now should really observe so that they don't become another statistics to cancer?
Okay, so there are a lot of ways on what you can do, no? But I've categorized this into 3 basic categories. So the food that you are eating, nutrition, your physical activity,
all right,
and then whether or not you're using risky substances.
Okay, so these very 3 simple rules.
Yeah, very
nutrition, physical activity, and controlled substances. Basically, your alcohol, cigarettes, and drugs.
Cigarettes. Yes, correct. Okay, so first let's go to nutrition. So the number 1, okay, the only dietary pattern that has been shown to have been able to reverse cancer is a whole food plant-based diet. And not just cancer. This dietary pattern also applies to all other diseases, okay, like your hypertension, your diabetes, etc. Okay, so how would you go about, how would you approach a whole food plant-based diet? Okay, so with a whole food plant-based diet, the only food groups that you should be choosing or that you should be eating would be fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. Okay, and studies have been done, decades of follow-up period, hundreds and thousands of participants, okay, and they have identified 3 food categories where we can see an increase in life expectancy, okay. So that would be your legumes, nuts, and whole grains.
Wow, I think this is something very new to everybody, because every time when we say eat healthy, everybody understands eat more vegetables.
Yes.
And I think everybody's idea is lettuce, green vegetables, tomatoes. Yes. However, the vegetables that are very, very effective for anti-cancer and also increasing your lifespan is actually legumes.
Yes.
Legumes is not a commonly used word, Dr. Jansen.
It's beans.
Beans. So these are your long beans, your wing beans, your sweet peas.
Yeah, but basically legumes
green beans, red beans, do those count?
Yes.
Green beans?
As long as it's beans.
Wow, so good news for those of us in Southeast Asia. Green bean soup, red bean soup, these are very healthy desserts. Just lower the sugar content in them. And in Philippines, I remember for the older Filipinos that are watching, every Friday used to be Mongo Friday, right?
Yes. So, mongos would also classify under legumes.
That's green beans, right? Mongo is green beans?
Yeah, mung beans.
Mung beans. Okay, mung beans. So, legumes, that's a big tip, all right? So, I know for those of us who are trying to eat more healthy. We go for things like Impossible Burgers,
Oh, yeah.
Beyond Meat, right? We basically have the idea that we eat less meat and more green vegetables. Most of us probably did not know or have neglected beans. Legumes are a very important part of being healthy and having an anti-cancer regime. So, Doc, can you share with us more?
Okay, so of course there will be foods that you should be avoiding. Okay?
All right.
So these foods actually can be carcinogenic as well. Okay, so number one will be your red meat, processed meat. Okay? So those are the foods that we all love, but unfortunately,
Not
even
good for
though not good for us. Even though I want to say that go ahead and eat your steak, you'll live fine. However, I cannot say that.
It's not true.
It's not true.
Yeah.
So yeah, red meat, processed meats have been associated with cancer for a very long time now and have been proven time and time again. Okay, and the IARC, okay, which is the international group that classifies carcinogens, have classified processed meats, no, as a carcinogen together with asbestos, radioactive substances.
Wow, same class.
Same class. So
Wow.
it is really cancer causing. Okay. So next would be your sugar sweetened beverages. Okay. So why is sugar sweetened beverages here? It's because it's really very high in sugar content. Okay. And juices, no, specifically fruit juices, would classify under this.
Oh, so that's another big tip to all our viewers, because many times when we decided to go healthy, we drop our favorite Coca-Cola, Pepsi, RC, right? Because we say these are soft drinks.
True.
And then we go to McDonald's and we tell ourselves, I will have the orange juice instead of the Coke, thinking that that's a healthier choice. But it's a misunderstanding. It's not true.
Okay, so if you want to know why is it this case, then please go watch our video about the sugar-free cancer. Okay,
That's
so
sugar-free cancer. Search on it on YouTube.
yeah, so you'll learn all about this in that video. So next would be your highly processed foods and your refined grain products. So highly processed foods are, since it's highly processed, it's laden with chemicals that we don't even know long-term if it is carcinogenic or not. Okay, so right now we've identified before, no, the ingredients that we've used in food manufacturing processes decades ago that are carcinogenic, and we're just knowing it now. They have been banned, but of course, moving forward from this time forward, we do not know if the ingredients that we use in food manufacturing processes are actually carcinogenic. Okay, so studies, we have to wait for the results of the studies in the future. Okay?
You know, Doc, speaking about that, last year, I think in 2022, 2021, there was a huge scandal even in Singapore. Apparently, the biscuits, cookies that we all grew up loving, like cream crackers, right? Or like your Ritz, is that what you call them? Ritz,
Yes,
yeah.
we also
Those,
have it here.
yeah. They apparently is the oil that they use is actually carcinogenic.
Yes, there are a lot of oils that the manufacturing industries are using now, and
They didn't know.
They didn't know, and unfortunately, the oils are also available in the supermarket, and we use them in our daily cooking. That's why
Wow.
frying is one of the cooking methods that can increase your risk for cancer. Okay, this is the one of the reasons why.
And with regards to that cookie scandal, it turns out if you love cream crackers or skyflakes in the Philippines, right, cookies like that, you shouldn't eat more than, I think, 1 pack every
Correct.
3-4
That's true,
days.
that's true.
But it's so easy for all of us who are working in offices to eat 3 packs in a single day.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no, even diabetics, some diabetics actually rely on these foods to replenish their sugar levels
Oh, wow.
rapidly. So, one advice, please avoid them. Avoid doing this because, yes, you're trying to replenish your blood sugar when it becomes so low, but you're actually doing more harm to your body than good.
No, you know, this wasn't planned in our structure for today's talk, but it just occurred to me. I'd like to interview you right now. I mean, you used to be a normal guy, right?
Yeah.
You eat meat and everything. Dr. Jansen today is 98% vegan. Is the 2% is when he's with me and I on a special days. I sort of like trapped him in a desert island. He had no choice but to take some fish or chicken. Okay, but Doc, what was it like transiting from? I mean, what was your favorite food before you?
Before everything,
plant-based whole food.
Before I really love chicken.
You really love chicken.
I can
Fried
live,
chicken.
Yeah, any as long as it's chicken, I can eat. I can live for a whole week eating chicken only. Pork.
Okay, and how was it transiting to non-meat?
It's really quite difficult, no. First of all, you need to know why you're doing it in the first place, because you're trying to break habits, trying to break beliefs or change your beliefs. Why you're the way you are now. You're trying to change these things, looking for other sources of food, restaurants to eat to. So it's really quite challenging. I transitioned for 8 months. You know.
It took 8 months.
8 months. It took 8 months.
So those of you who tried 1 month and then gave up, don't feel bad, right? It took Doc Jansen 8 months.
Yeah, but speaking of transitioning, it really is case to case. So each of us are unique. Some people can go cold turkey and tomorrow they're 100% plant-based.
Wow.
Some takes quite a while, like me, 8 months. Some takes 1 year, 2 years.
Yeah, I'm in the 1 year, 2 year category because I'm still trying.
Yeah. So but of course, nevertheless, no matter how difficult it can be, as long as you have your goal, stick to the reason why you're doing it in the first place, you won't go astray. Okay.
Doc, rule number 2, physical activity.
Physical activity. So we've covered physical activity now and how much I was able to do now compared to before. Yeah. So actually, to be healthy or to get the most out of exercise, you don't really have to do so much. Okay.
Oh, that's very nice to hear. All right. You don't really have to do so much.
Yeah, you don't have to. I mean, for cardio exercises, you only need to do 150 minutes per week of moderate intensity physical activity and 75 minutes for vigorous intensity. So how do you know if what you're doing is vigorous or moderate?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Okay, so there are 2 ways on how to know. One is to do the talk test. If you cannot talk and you can still sing while doing the physical activity, then that's moderate. If you cannot talk or you cannot sing, then that's vigorous. But if you really want to be more objective, you have to do a computation. Okay? Yeah, so you have to base it on your heart rate, maximum heart rate. Okay? So how do you get your maximum heart rate? So the formula is 220 minus your age. So let's say for example me, I am 33 years old. So 220 minus 33, go and get your calculators. So that would be about 187.
Wow,
so
that's very fast.
That is my maximum heart rate.
Wow, how would be exploding if you...
Yes, well that's my maximum, right?
Wow.
So how do I get the moderate intensity? Okay. So moderate intensity is 64 to 76% of your maximum heart rate.
Okay.
So go and get your calculators and compute, no? Just
104.
multiply 187 multiplied by
60%.
64%. That would be around 120 beats per minute. So at 120 beats per minute, that is already moderate in intensity for me already when I'm doing the physical activity. And if I want to push it further, that number would be 140. So 76% of 187 would be around 142 beats per minute. So if I want to increase or I want to do a more vigorous intensity physical exercise, I would have to aim for 142 beats per minute. So that's how I do it.
Your simple acid test, not the complicated calculated one, but the one about being able to talk and sing. That's moderate activity. I just realized something. Most of us don't even do moderate level activity. And truth be told, I would seriously, if I go to our office right now and challenge people, I think for the last 10 years, nobody has ever done vigorous exercise. Because I remember the time where I exercised to the point that I couldn't talk or sing was in the army, and when they made us run the obstacle course, where by the time when we stopped, we were immediately vomiting. Yeah, you can't talk at all.
That's a whole another level.
Yeah, so now I mean, when I think about it, those of us who are not athletes, we probably never push ourselves to vigorous. And what we think is vigorous is probably moderate.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so that goes to show, since we are saying this rule is very important to keep yourself cancer-free in the later part of your life, then you got to realize now today the activity rates that you're doing for physical exercise is really very low. And that would explain why half of us above the age of 50, when we hit there, we will get cancer.
Yeah.
So go to the gym.
Okay.
Walk more.
Yes.
Walk more.
Okay. So not only cardio, no. Next is resistance exercises or weight bearing exercises. So how often should you be doing this? It's around 2 to 3 times a week only. Okay. And what muscles should you be working out? All major muscle groups. So that would be your chest, your triceps, biceps, your shoulders, your abdomen, your back, and your legs. Okay, so that's it. All right, that's it. Okay, and how many should you be doing? That would be 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. All right, and physical activity is really very important, no? Because it not only helps you reduce your risk of getting certain types of cancer, like your breast and colon cancer. If you are diagnosed with cancer already, it also prolongs your overall survival. It reduces the side effects of the treatments, the chemotherapy, the radiation therapy. It also increases your disease-free survival or the period of time wherein you are in remission. Okay? So physical activity is really very important. Right?
So you really need to, even when you're sick, so for cancer patients, those of you who are taking care of cancer patients, I know they always say they're tired, they just want to sleep in the bed, but you've got to encourage them to sit up on the bed, move their shoulders, arms, their legs, and if they did that for a week, next week try to stand up, and then try to really get walking. And if they can walk outside, if you have a nice garden near your home that you can go out and walk, it will make a big difference. It will really make it, and it will also lift up their spirits. So this physical exercise thing is a very important part of staying cancer-free. It also lifts up your emotional state, and that's going to be very helpful. Being locked up and seeing the bed all the time, you only get depressed.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what the pandemic has done for us. A lot of people now are suffering from depression because they saw 4 walls for 2 years, and that has taken a mental toll. So now we know the 2 positive things that we need to do. Doc, your last rule is about what not to do, right?
Yes, this is pretty common sense already for everyone, and this had been advocated time and time again for decades already. So avoid smoking, avoid tobacco use. That includes e-cigarettes, okay? Because
vaping,
cigarette smoke, not just cigarette smoke, no, secondhand smoke, the smoke from the grill that you love to smell, the aroma, yeah, that includes it. Yeah, because those smoke can increase your risk of several types of cancer, different, no? I think it's basically all parts of the body.
All parts of the body
can increase the risk of getting cancer from, basically everywhere, no? Next would be alcohol drinking, okay? Now, alcohol is one of the pleasures of life, you know? But drink alcohol moderately, okay? And what is moderate? Okay, so moderate would be this chart that you see. Okay,
wow.
So just follow this. For men, that would be 2 drinks
per day,
and for women, that would be 1 drink per day. But remind you, okay, please take note. According to the IARC, okay, there is no safe upper limit of consumption of alcohol consumption. Meaning, the safe amount of alcohol consumption is 0 alcohol consumption. Okay, so there you go.
I like this chart because we have an entire episode on drinking. But I think it's great to know that the guideline says that if you have 1 beer, I think it says here, Doc, you say 1 drink per day, but it's not every day, right?
It's not every day. For 1 week, the safe one for men would be no more than 14. For women, no more than 7.
So yes, if alcohol is such an important aspect of your life, here you have it. I guess this is as much a compromise as a doctor will be willing to do, and that is to say you can have 1 drink a day. So that's 1 can of beer, and then stop there. All right. So at least you have the moral authority to say, backed by science, to your wife, "Hey, dear, I can have 1 beer, but I promise you, just 1, nothing more." And you will be rather okay. But if you can, try not to drink every day. Make it an exception only when you celebrate, and then you'll really be on your way to being cancer-free. So Doc, thank you for the 3 rules. These are things that we sort of know already, but we spelled it out very clearly. And I'd like to share with everybody, your health in 20 years' time, your health in the future is what you do today. So really, your health today is what you did 20 years ago. I'm still healthy today. I'm 48 because when I was 30, we were still having military exercises, and I had a group of friends and we were taking care of our health. So I think I had a good foundation 20 years ago.
You did.
I did, right? So now I intend to look the way I am when I am 70. So that means I'll be joining Doc Jansen this year, hopefully, being largely plant-based whole food. And then we are going to the gym together. All right, so without further ado, I see more questions are coming in already, Doc. People probably asking, can we do 1.5 drinks a day? All right, so without further ado, let's go to our Ask Me Anything segment.
Hi everybody, good evening. My name is Sheila and you are watching another episode of Simply Healed webinar brought to you by Simply Nature, your long-time running healthcare awareness webinar here in social media. Tonight's topic is entitled 3 Ways to Prevent Cancer in Your 30s and 40s. So without further ado, we are now in the Q&A portion or live Ask Me Anything portion. To answer all the questions for tonight, I'd like to call on our lifestyle medicine doctor, Dr. Jansen Calalan, and of course our PPARS expert from Singapore and CEO of Simply Nature International, Mr. Sean Lim. Good evening, Dr. Jansen, and good evening, Sir Sean.
Good evening, Sheila. Good evening, Doc.
Hello, Sean. Hello, Sheila. Good evening to everyone. Happy to be here.
So glad to see everybody.
That's true. Sir Sean, we've missed you last week.
Yeah, that's why I said so glad to see everybody. I was in Taiwan. What a wonderful, for all those viewers who have been trapped like me for the last 3 years, cannot fly. Go out and travel if you can, right? So it was really great being in Taiwan. I love the weather. 9 degrees. Wow. No, but it was very comfortable. It was very beautiful. So are we showing pictures? Yeah, I actually went to the farm or factory of our PPARS, right? So yeah, I was there in Taiwan. So you can see that's where we are. That's where we grow our unique microalgae to make the to make the PPAR extract. So we had fun. That's where your PPARS comes from, okay? So I was just there to have updates, very exciting news, lots of update. We have very new, interesting products coming, which I think all of you will be very excited. I know everyone loves our AD Pro, and right now, our AD Pro is actually sold out. There are some clients that are begging us to give even any old expired stocks. They are willing to take it. Okay, so I just want to tell for all those who are interested in AD Pro, you're fans of AD Pro, be patient with us a little more. And I think it'll take about another 3 more months. The reason is we are doing a whole new thing with AD Pro. All right, we're going to prepare a whole range so that it's a even more complete solution for all those with AD, which is psoriasis, eczema. So look forward to that. And for cancer patients who are going for radiation therapy, it's going to be great. We're going to come up with a full range. And the good news is we're also trying to make it affordable. Much more affordable so that it can be used for daily use. So all these are very exciting things. And we're also testing something out. I don't know whether I should say or not. It's secret, but insider news, all right? So I'll ask a question, and let's see, you guys type, and I'll decide from your response whether to share with you or not. So how many of you know of someone or yourself that you, especially after COVID-19, right, that you would love it if there was something that could help you sleep better? You know, whether it's your insomnia, that means you can't sleep and then you have to take like sleeping aids, like sleeping pills, or your sleep is always very shallow, that means you always wake up tired. if would you be interested if there was a solution to your sleep issues? Yeah, just type I want to sleep better under the comments and chat, and then I will decide whether I will share with you the exciting news or not later in the program. Okay, yeah, so good to be back. So glad to see everyone. Good to be beside Doc Jansen again. Doc, you know, you look like Taiwanese idol.
I'm Chinese. We all look alike.
All right, okay, you know, I'm glad today's topic is a bit lighter. It's about prevention, not getting cancer rather than dealing with cancer. But as always, we are very glad. Yeah, I'm just looking. Is it okay? I see questions coming, so let's start with the questions.
Well, we haven't started yet, but so much good news already. Thank you, Sir Sean, and welcome back once again. Okay, so we actually have two people asking about this question. Doc, is biopsy still necessary even if the patient has undergone ultrasound already?
Yes, ultrasound is just an indirect. What is the information that we get from ultrasound? Okay, so how is it different from the information that we get from biopsy? Okay, so from ultrasound, the information that we get from that is the location of the mass or the location of whatever, no? Its characteristics, its texture even. Is it fat? What organ is it? If it is a tumor, is it solid or is it cystic or is it filled with fluid? Okay. Another one is the size. All right. If it's a solid mass, we can actually know through ultrasound if it is laden with blood vessels. Okay, so those are the information that we get from ultrasound. So how is it different from biopsy? So from biopsy, we get a piece of the tumor. Okay, so why do we need a piece of the tumor? So that the doctors, the pathologists, inside the laboratory can look at the piece of the tumor under a microscope to identify what is it. Is it cancer? What kind of cancer is it? Okay, so for every tumor, okay, for cancer especially, the definitive diagnosis always comes from a biopsy. Okay, and from the biopsy, that is when we determine what kind of treatment should a patient undergo. Okay.
To add to what Dr. Jansen has said, remember what Dr. Jansen has taught us many times in our discussion. We go for a diagnostic not because we are curious, we want to see. No. We go for a diagnostic so that we can decide exactly what treatment to do. Okay? So an ultrasound, as Dr. Jansen explained, you get to see that there's a tumor there. And maybe even from the ultrasound, due to the shape of the tumor, you can even deduce based on other medical information that this is probably malignant or you have cancer. Then why do a biopsy if you already know you have cancer? Because there are Doc, how many types of chemotherapy drugs are there? For breast cancer alone, how many different types of breast cancer do we have?
We have 4, no?
4.
But right now, they actually is trying to change the categories.
But how many different types of drugs and each of these 4 types of breast cancer have different chemotherapy drugs. Some can use immunotherapy, which and it's a cheaper one, right? It's not a very expensive immunotherapy. So again, from this answer, you will know that you have your biopsy so that you can be very clear exactly what type of cancer so that your doctors can know exactly what drugs to prescribe for you. So for most patients, you may think that cancer is just one word. So you think and then we always hear chemotherapy, but there are many chemotherapy drugs, and not all of them are used for the same types of cancer. So again, go for a biopsy because the doctor needs a specific information. So that's why ultrasound is insufficient, because now that you suspect or know that you have cancer, you need to know exactly what drugs or what treatment to match your cancer type.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Just want to greet, of course, our dear Miss Lily Mio from Malaysia for watching this once again. And of course, our new viewers for tonight, Miss Lina Malyari and Miss Elma Agustin. Hello and good evening.
Okay,
Also,
for Lily, you asked a special request about AD Pro, so I'll tell you what. When the thing is ready, when I go back to Singapore, I'll send you something complimentary from Singapore, so that we don't have to endure the shipping charges all the way from Philippines. Okay, so just be patient. And remind me. I give you permission to remind me that I owe you a free AD Pro, okay?
thank you, Sir Sean. Okay. Also, of course, I want to greet Miss Susan Osormov, coming from Rizal Medical Center. Hello to all of you there.
Oh, hello everybody.
Okay. Next question coming from Mr. Jose Otep. Doc, how would we know, or what are the best tests to take to identify if you have chronic kidney disease?
Wow,
or
it's a
kidney cancer?
good topic. Wow.
It's your creatinine, okay? But you should still interpret the laboratory test according to the symptoms that you're feeling and according to your history, okay? The more specific one would be a combination of your creatinine and your BUN, or your blood urea nitrogen. So if those two parameters both increase, more or less we would have an idea that, okay, there's a problem with the kidney. So it's an indirect test, okay? Yeah.
Doc, I've recently, now that I'm traveling more back to Singapore, to Taiwan and everywhere, it seems in every country we seeing an increase in the occurrence of CKDs, or chronic kidney diseases. What can you say about CKDs, Doc? And can you share some experience that you have, successful experience you have with CKD patients? Because one thing that many patients who get CKD, they are always told that CKD is irreversible. That basically, as the years go by, they will get worse and worse, and to, in a way, be prepared for the worst.
Yep.
Is that really true? Yeah, comments.
For CKD or chronic kidney disease, the number one, or not really number one, I'll tell you a few common risk factors to develop one, okay? So number one would be hypertension, number two will be diabetes. Okay? So those are the top two risk factors for developing chronic kidney disease. So if you are someone who is hypertensive, if you are someone who is diabetic, please take your medication. Okay? You absolutely need to control those two, okay, in order to prevent you from getting CKD in the future. Okay?
And Doc, for the hypertensive one, because I think that one is closer to my heart. The reason why hypertension will damage your kidney is because, to give an example, if you have a water filter at home, imagine if the water pressure is very high, then your filter may get damaged, right? Your filter may get torn, right? It may tear because the water flowing through your filter is flowing too fast. So that's the link. Correct me if I'm wrong, Doc. That's the link between hypertension and damaging your liver.
Correct. No, aside from the pressure, one reason why people develop hypertension is inflammation. Okay, so inflammation, if your blood vessels are inflamed,
you have high blood pressure usually, so it's an indicator.
Pressure, yes. The inflammation is not just in your blood vessels. Okay, it will also travel all around your body, so it can also damage your kidneys. So that's one of the reasons as well. Okay, but those two, diabetes and hypertension, you absolutely have to control. Okay, so you have to take your medications. Okay, you have to, until such time that you have implemented the proper lifestyle changes, then we see improvements, and that is the time that we can slowly taper you off from your medication.
So Doc, I guess the first question I want to ask is, do you have experience or successful clients or patients where you were able to reverse CKD?
Yes, I've had experience, but here's the thing, okay? CKD have 5 stages.
Okay.
And it starts with 1 or through 5. 5 is the worst, okay? That's end-stage renal disease where you have to absolutely go for dialysis. Now, the earlier or the lower the number is of your CKD, the easier it is to reverse. The higher the number is, the more difficult it is to reverse. However, it is not without hope, because if you compare my patient,
What's no, it's okay. It's not bragging. It's giving hope. All right. So, what is the highest stage CKD patient that you were able to help either to maintain so that they don't get worse, and then what is the worst case CKD patient that you've seen that you actually managed to reverse them back to normal?
Yeah, I've managed patients with CKD up until stage 5. No, and the stage 5 CKD patients, their blood pressure are good.
Wow.
It's less than 140/90.
Wow.
Okay, and they do not have edema. Okay, these patients are undergoing dialysis already. And even though they are undergoing dialysis, if you look at them, okay, they seem normal people. Okay, because usually patients who undergo dialysis, no, okay, this came from my patient. Okay, so her classmates actually, if you are actually asking her, hey, what is your secret? Why are you so energetic? You are able to walk in and out on your own.
And you're going through dialysis.
And you're going for dialysis. The other patients are on a wheelchair bound because they are so weak. Okay. Also, one of the very difficult very difficult thing to or symptom to manage among CKD patients is the blood pressure. So patients who implement the advices that I usually prescribe, no, they tend to they don't max out their hypertensive meds, and they have less episodes of elevations in blood pressure. So I've just recently had one patient who messaged me. This is a long-standing patient. I think this patient this is a patient of mine since 2018, I think. Yeah. So this patient of mine reported suddenly, hey doc, I'm undergoing dialysis very consistently. I have very good compliance. How come my blood pressure is always increasing at night? It's especially at night. Simple. I told her, okay, move your medication at night. Take this at night and move this medication that you're taking at night to the morning. Okay, everything went well. So it's just the timing of the medication. I did not add.
So this is the reason why you would want to arrange for a consult with Dr. Jansen. Okay. I mean, not everything is like increasing dosage or anything. And Doc, just to add to what you're just saying, when I was in Taiwan, I was talking to our researchers, the general manager at our plant in Taiwan, and we were talking about CKD, and he mentioned that, oh, wow, our PIPA protocols, just the PIPA tablet protocols, are very helpful for CKD patients, even for patients who are on dialysis. So he mentioned that there was a long-time client who has been on dialysis for 15 years. And when he said that, I remembered, Doc, I had one discussion with you where you shocked me because I did not know that when a patient goes on dialysis, his lifespan is actually shortened.
Yes, it shortens their lifespan.
When the number you told me, I was quite shocked because the lifespan of a patient on dialysis is almost like one of those chronic cancers. It's like you are not expected to live for past 5 years as well. Oh, that shocked me. I thought only cancer killed you. I didn't know dialysis is not a very positive outlook once you're on dialysis. So it was great news from the factory, from the GM when he shared with me. Oh, this client, 15 years of dialysis, and he looks absolutely normal, very energetic, very healthy, and so that's very exciting, and I hope that's very encouraging for those of you who are are worried about CKD. Doc, here's the thing. Generally, people who get CKD or diagnosed with CKD, they are told it's irreversible, and that's because the nephron cells in the kidneys is like your brain cells. They are formed during when you're developed as a child, when you grow. So they cannot be remade again. The body doesn't make new ones. That's one reason why when you're diagnosed with CKD in the late stages, they say it's irreversible. But however, as long as your nephron cells are not totally destroyed, it still repairs itself. And again, you have a lot of nephron cells, so if you can make the rest of your kidney more efficient, your kidney can start to work as well, work sufficiently that it can still keep you healthy. So even though it is true that once these kidney cells are totally destroyed, they don't grow back. However, before they are totally destroyed, they still are repairable. So that's why here at Simply Healed, we're not saying that we can revive a destroyed kidney cell, because that's medically not possible.
Yep.
But what we are saying is that the doctors may be a bit early in saying that your kidney cells are destroyed.
Yes.
They may be 80% destroyed, but they are not 100% destroyed, right? So in the minds of a medical doctor, they think, okay, you can't repair it. Once it's destroyed, it cannot be replaced. But here's the important thing. It might not be totally destroyed yet. So that's where when we can actually repair it, and it will look like a miracle, because technically you can't reverse CKD, but how come we are able to reverse CKD? It's because the cells were not totally destroyed, so we were able to step in before they were, and we were able to reverse it. So again, we're not going against medical knowledge. It is true, once your kidney cells are totally destroyed, they cannot be replaced and cannot be repaired. However, before they are totally destroyed, we might be able to do something. So I hope that will give you an idea and understanding why here in our Simply Healed forum, we are positive and hopeful, and we will try and apply protocols to revive and repair what your savable, your salvageable kidney cells, and hence we sort of reverse CKD when it's general knowledge that you can't reverse CKD.
Thank you, Sir Sean. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Those answers to this very wonderful question is very encouraging. Thank you. Right. So another question from CKD to diabetes.
All right.
Coming from Elma Agustin. Dr. Jansen, is it necessary to a young one to go operation because she has a blurry vision, because she has diabetic issue as well?
It might be necessary. Okay, for kids who have blurry vision, it is very important to have her undergo surgery immediately, or else that part of her brain that governs vision will not develop properly. Okay, so it is an urgent matter, okay, that you resolve this issue. So go ahead. But here's the thing, it's very important for you to control the diabetes. Okay, it's very important for the kid to have good blood sugar numbers. Okay, because if the kid's blood sugar numbers is too high, then he or she might be susceptible to infection after the surgery. And of course, the doctor won't even take the risk of operating if the blood sugar is too high, because you risk infection. Okay, so very important, control the blood sugar first, then go for the surgery.
Doc, can I ask, in a case like this, especially if it's a child, we're always very concerned when it comes to a child, because if a child's illness is serious, we are afraid of using the strongest available drug on the child, right? And Sheila, as a mother, this is, you're like, I know he's serious, but we're gonna use that very powerful drug. Will it have a side effect because my child is so young? So in a case like this, Doc, would you consider, is it something that, if it's I guess, Hail Mary, in a sense that we've tried everything and we either choose some really very powerful drugs that might damage the other organs because the child is young, in this case, would you consider like Simply Nature liquid PPAR extract or powder extract to see if there is a chance?
For this particular case, between going blind, it really depends on how critical it is. I would always consider both sides. I mean, utilize
everything.
The liquid extract. Yeah, utilize everything. So why would you pick one wherein you can pick two?
Wow, that's the trick, right? You see 500 peso and 1,000 peso on the road. which one do you pick up? That's a trick question. You pick up both. Okay, you pick up both.
Yes.
Okay,
All right.
both.
Yeah.
Right.
So if finance is not an issue, and you know this is something that's very real. You know, many of us when we come to medical care, we have restriction of resources. Sometimes we can only choose one or the other. But if you happen to be able to afford both, do both.
Thank you, Sir Sean. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Right, from CKD to diabetes, now back to cancer. Coming from Ms. Eunice Arboleras. Good evening, Doc. What is a good procedure? Breast conserving surgery or total mastectomy for
That's a
intralocular
good
breast
question.
carcinoma?
It depends on the stage.
Stage 2, intralobular breast carcinoma, stage 2.
If it's stage 2, you have to do a modified radical mastectomy. Okay, so that is removal of the whole breast together with the axillary lymph nodes, the lymph nodes in your armpit, because it's stage 2.
Okay,
Meaning-
why? Yeah, why not?
Meaning, if it's stage 2, meaning the breast cancer cells have already invaded the axillary lymph nodes, so you have to remove them. Okay? If you go for breast conservation surgery, you will not be able to remove all the cancer cells because the cancer cells are already in the lymph system. Okay, so you have to remove everything.
So what's the downside of having a possible remnant of the cancer cell for a breast cancer patient?
Yeah, you increase the chances of metastasis. Okay, so that's one. Another one is recurrence. Okay, so it's very important, no, for those cases which are still resectable, meaning the tumor is still small enough to be resected. Please have them removed. Okay, please don't think twice. Okay, it's better for you to live without the headquarters of the tumor. Okay, because there's less chances of it metastasizing and invading other organs. Okay, it's easier to manage a patient when the patient have already underwent surgery, because it's just the microscopic cancer cells that you have to deal with.
So again, to this particular viewer who is asking this question, please know that your breast cancer can develop to a stage where mastectomy is not an option. You know, I've actually met or encountered breast cancer patients where the breast tumor, the cancer tumor, fused to the bone, so it can't be operated on even if you want to, you know, and then it's very much more difficult to treat. And I think when it comes to cosmetic, because I truly understand breast is part of the identity of being a woman, but I think what's very encouraging is Angelina Jolie, sex symbol of Hollywood, actually had a double total mastectomy.
Yes.
Right? And I think there were cosmetic options to restore her identity, right? So that you can have back your breasts, all right? Of course, everything costs money, but then again, you can always save up and get back what you lost, but you cannot get back your life if you cross a certain point. So I think, as Dr. Jansen said, don't consider anymore. You know, we have met too many cancer patients, and especially family members are depending. You're so precious to your family members. So think about that, right? Can always get back the breast later. Can always save up if you don't have the funds right now. And yes, but you can't get back your life. So don't consider anymore. Don't hesitate. Do what is still available before you can't.
It's actually good that she has options as of now. Thank you.
It's very sayang when it comes to cancer treatment. For cancer treatment, the most sayang thing that can ever happen is you did the right thing, but you didn't do enough. It's like you got yourself 80% cured. Then you celebrate, then later it comes back. That's the part, because even to get yourself 80% cured, you paid a high price, right? You go through chemo, you have surgery, whether it was not total mastectomy, but you had surgery. So you already paid the price, and very sayang if after doing all this, the cancer still comes back. So when it comes to cancer, you rather just pay the full price and make sure you get the full full reward, which is that you are free from the cancer.
Thank you, sir. It's actually, a lot of our patients and clients asking here in Simply Nature are really afraid to really go for the surgery. And one thing that I've learned from Doc Jansen's consultation is that, if you have the option to go for surgery, you are actually in a good position.
Yeah, in a good position, because if you cannot be operated on, that means your cancer has really spread, and they don't even the doctor won't even suggest surgery anymore.
So for those of you who wish to have a consult with Doc Jansen, the link for you to be scheduled for a consult is in the description link and the comment section as well. Okay, thank you. Right, another question. Okay, coming from Miss Yumi, breast related as well. Does bigger breast means higher risk for cancer?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
The size of your breast is not a risk factor for you to develop breast cancer.
All right.
So that's the good news.
So if you are gifted with big breasts, don't worry. Okay, just enjoy the gifting.
But however, the density of the breast is one, not really risk factor, or one factor that can increase your chances or likelihood of developing breast cancer. However, it's not an absolute risk factor. The diet and your genes are still the more important ones. Okay, the more important or the more influential risk factors for developing breast cancer. Okay, so yep.
I'm just curious, Doc, because we are talking about big breasts. How about for the ladies who have small breasts?
Oh, is that a good thing? Having smaller breasts does mean that...
That's a risk.
Yeah, so good question. Because this is where the breast density comes in. If your breast is smaller, then the density is higher. So then, with this, then it might be something that, well, it's good to know that, okay, my breast is smaller, so I have a higher chance of developing breast cancer compared to a woman who has less dense breast. Okay?
Oh, wow! Having actually smaller breasts may make you...
May. But it's not 100%.
Okay, wow.
If you still live a good lifestyle, then you can prevent developing breast cancer, even if you have small breasts. Okay?
It's good to interject right here for everyone to know that the human body is the most cancer-resistant body in the entire animal kingdom. That means that's one reason why we can live to 120. Our body is extremely anti-cancer. Extremely. If you have a pet like a dog or worse, a hamster or rabbit, 3-4 years they have tumors growing in them, the rabbits and the hamsters, all right? So, but the human body is very, very anti-cancer. So, why do I bring this up? I bring this up because if you know the human body in the entire animal kingdom is the most cancer-resistant body, it just means that if you live right, if you eat the right stuff, you live well, your chance of getting cancer is drastically reduced because you were born with the most anti-cancer, most cancer-resistant body in the entire animal kingdom. Okay, so for a human being to have cancer at age 40, 50 is not normal. Although it's very common now, but it's not naturally normal. It's only because we are all eating unnatural diets. Right? Just imagine how much processed food that you are eating. So you are eating a very unnatural diet. So know that it's actually not normal, not natural for you to develop cancer at age 40 or 50. You were born with the most cancer-resistant body in the animal kingdom. So I hope that encourages you to be able to adopt some of the advice or all the advice Dr. Jansen has given today on keeping yourself cancer-free.
Thank you, sir. Right, another question coming from Mr. Salvador. I've talked to this person a while ago. He sent out privately his question. He's a colon cancer patient, done with chemotherapy, but is now in pain because he's on oral chemotherapy. When he is in pain, he takes morphine. Right? So how can he lessen the inflammation? That's his question.
Inflammation, okay, eat right, then use Simply Nature PPARs. very good anti-inflammatory property. Okay.
There we go. Solution.
Just go for a consult so I can prescribe you the proper protocol.
The proper
Because,
dosage.
if you have colon cancer, I might need some information about your digestion. Okay? Yeah, please go for schedule 1. Okay? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc Jansen. All right, another question, Doc, is are RBCO and fruit wines good for cancer patients to be taken?
What's the first one?
RBCO and
Virgin coconut oil.
Okay. And the other one is
Fruit wine.
Fruit wine good for cancer?
Yeah.
No and no. Okay. No and no. Virgin coconut oil, okay. Virgin coconut oil is very high in saturated fats. It is almost 100% saturated fats. Okay? It is lauric acid, and lauric acid is saturated fats. So, saturated fats can increase your risk of developing cancer actually. So, how does it do that? So, if you have very high saturated fat intake, then you will have higher risk of developing diabetes. If you have developed diabetes or if you have developed insulin resistance, okay, then your pancreas will produce more insulin, and with more insulin, everything inside your body can grow. Okay, it will grow. So even the smallest of cancer cells, wherein it shouldn't have grown, no? Since you are taking so much saturated fat, so not just from virgin coconut oil, saturated fats from other sources as well. Okay, that will stimulate the growth of the tumor. Okay, so that's one. So another one is fruit wine. Wine that is alcoholic. Okay, you do not give any alcoholic drink to cancer patients because alcohol is carcinogenic. Why would you give something carcinogenic to a cancer patient? Okay, so you're just promoting the environment for the cancer to thrive. Okay, so please don't do it. Okay, don't.
I think, Doc Jansen's answer might surprise some of you because, for example, it's very commonly, accepted that VCO is a health food. It's a healthy supplement. Okay, here is the thing, right? When you're healthy, it's okay to get your supplements from different sources. Right? For example, I know Doc Jansen wouldn't recommend this at all because he's whole food, plant-based diet, right? Okay, but let's say you are totally healthy, everything's good. You want to get some of your protein from, let's say, grass-fed beef. Okay? So it's true that grass-fed beef is rich in amino acids, it's rich in protein, high in iron, all these things that your body needs, right? So if you're totally healthy and you take a grass-fed beef organic steak, you can argue, and Doc Jansen will not agree with you, okay, that it is a healthy meal, that you get the nutrition that you need, all right? But if you are a cancer patient, this option is not good because there are better options. The better option is to eat a plant-based diet where you can still get your protein, you can still get your iron, you can still get all these things, right? But they are better for you because you're a cancer patient. So we're not here in the program. Doc Jansen's not saying that VCO is bad for you, but VCO, when you're a cancer patient, is not the best option. Whatever benefits VCO can give you, you can get same benefits from alternatives which are better for cancer patients. Okay, so why don't you get yourself totally healed from cancer? Then after that, if you want to take your VCO, you're in better position too. But while you're a cancer patient, whatever benefits you're trying to get from VCO, you can get it from other sources that are better for cancer patients. So that's why we are advising you this way. It's just so that you don't get confused. Oh, I thought VCO is good for me. Well, VCO is good for healthy people. But if you're a cancer patient, there are better ways to get what you want from VCO. You can get it from other things such as Simply Nature Pipa tablets, all right, like microalgae. Or if you don't want Simply Nature, get it from chlorella, all right, or something like that. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. See, your questions that you are asking us here are actually also helping other patients out there in dealing with their cancer journeys. So thank you for sending your questions. Right, another question coming from Ms. Rosetta. The case is stage 3 nasopharyngeal cancer, which is her husband. Chemotherapy and radiation was done last March 15, but PET scan last October is still showing 4% of cancer cell. What to do?
I need more information. So I think it would be better for you to go for a consult. Okay? I think that would be better. But right on the get-go, to gain weight, because I think he has problem gaining weight, no? So in order for you to gain weight, number one, of course, you have to eat plenty. You have to have the right amount of calories. Okay? And number two, okay, you have to exercise. That's the healthful way of gaining weight. Okay? Please don't go to McDonald's and go and eat all those fries and those burgers and all of those to gain weight. Okay? That's the wrong concept of trying to gain weight. Okay? So to gain weight, number one, very important, is to exercise. Resistance exercises or strength exercises would be better to do. So in order for your muscles to bulk up. Okay?
So it's a combination. You exercise and you eat
right.
well, right? I guess for those who want weight gain, they might be advised by nutritionists or doctors to increase their protein intake. You can do that by buying plant-based protein drinks. You don't need to drink whey. Now when you go to Healthy Options or any health store, there are plenty of plant-based protein shakes. Those will be what you want.
Yeah, just increase the number of calories that you're eating. So what do I mean by that? Eat more.
Eat more legumes. Legumes are great. That's your green beans, your string beans, sitaw, or nuts. Yes, nuts.
I totally agree with Doc Jansen. I've noticed that with Dominic when he does this biking. I notice his muscles on
his
on
legs.
His legs start really growing.
Yeah, so he has to do more push-ups too then, so that his his top also gets bigger.
Yeah. Alright. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Doc. Right, another question. Okay, coming from Ms. Honorata Aquino. Who performs the biopsy, Doc? Is it the surgeon or the oncologist?
It's the surgeon who does the biopsy.
Who interprets the biopsy, Doc?
The one who interprets the biopsy will be your surgeons, will be your oncos. Okay? The one who reads the biopsy slide is your pathologist.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are the ones who type in the result, the paper where you go and send your attending doctors. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so it's the pathologist that would actually give the result of the biopsy. Then your onco or your surgeon would then do further interpretation from whatever the pathologist has written on your report.
Thank you. Right, another question coming from Ms. Nikasha Bukat. What do you recommend for diabetes with 7.2 FBS?
7.2 FBS is quite high. So you have to eat right, exercise more, and why not go for a consult so I can give you we can try to attempt to reverse that.
Okay, Doc, just want to ask you right now, because when I first met you, you were telling me you meet like hundreds and thousands of metabolic syndrome people, and so this is like bread and butter for you, right?
Yes,
it's so so can you just give an indication, like how confident are you that you can basically normalize a metabolic syndrome patient and to be able to get it down and be permanent in a way that that person doesn't have to be on maintenance meds?
Yeah, if you follow my instructions well, if you are compliant, if you adhere to
How
the
fast?
prescription, I am 95%.
95%, that's great.
You are able to reverse
that's
it.
high.
Okay? Yeah. So what is the 5%? Okay, the 5% is reserved for those who are too far gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or
okay.
those who are naughty. All right.
Well, we're talking about compliant patients.
Compliant patients.
So if you are compliant, very compliant, 95%. So the 5% that is remaining is that if you're already too far gone.
Special cases.
Yeah, special cases already. We already see the pancreas being exhausted already. Those cases, or you are on multiple insulin shots already, then a lot of complicated issues. So yeah, even if you develop CKD, okay, so end-stage renal disease, your diabetes can still be reversed, okay?
Wow, that's great news.
Okay, it can still be reversed, okay?
So listen clearly, everybody. Doc Jansen is not saying that your blood sugar can be managed. He's saying that you can be reversed and off maintenance meds. He's 95% confident of doing that unless you are a special case.
Yes.
Provided you are a good patient who is compliant and does what he prescribes. So what are you waiting for? For everyone who has metabolic syndromes, let's get it solved so that, in case another pandemic comes, you don't have a comorbidity.
Yes.
All right, yeah.
Okay. So for those of you who have type 1 diabetes, okay, so type 1 diabetes is you're not producing insulin, so you're on insulin shot for the rest of your life. So even with those cases, we can find ways, okay, we can make it to a point, and reach a point where you only need very minimal insulin shots. You will still
that's
need
good
insulin
news.
shots, but it's just very minimal. So that's, in terms of financial, the burden of finances.
Yeah.
That's really quite helpful. I mean, you only need minimum.
And the fact that you don't have to inject yourself, because I have friends who are insulin dependent, and when you look at their tummy, it's like, oh my God, there's no space. The whole tummy is bruised because of the injection.
Yeah.
So if you can reduce your injections from 4 units a day to 1 unit, wow, that's a wonderful, big blessing. Big blessing.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc Jansen. Another question coming from Miss Veronica. Do nasal polyps grow back after surgery?
Nasal polyps?
Polyps, yes.
Nasal, do nasal polyps occur after surgery? Wait, let me recall.
Then going back to your anatomy and physiology.
Let me double check.
All right, let's go to the next question while Dr. Jansen double checks.
Miss Honorata privately said that the question is how can she save the video tonight?
Okay.
No, you can actually save yourself from the trouble in saving the video, because the videos or the webinar that we are having tonight is actually replayable, which you can also share to your friend and your fellow patients in the hospitals as well. So please do share our webinars to your friends and families. We believe that they can also help out with your appointment.
Okay, Dr. Jansen's ready with the answer?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
The answer is yes. Nasal polyps can recur, even after surgery. So there's actually one study that I found, polyp recurrence is common after endoscopic sinus surgery, so that's removal of the nasal polyps, up to 18 months, after 18 months, they found that 60 to 70% of patients they have operated on have recurrence of nasal polyps. Yeah. Another one, long-term evaluation of nasal polyposis recurrence, 55 to 60% of cases. So it's at least about half, will have recurrence. Okay. Yeah.
So, Doc, polyps are unusual growths, or
it just grows.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Because I was just
It's more
wondering,
common.
right?
Yes.
Because the body manages these unusual growths. The body has its own system to manage it, right? So I was wondering if activating the pathways of the immune response and managing inflammation, does that reduce? Not that it is a definite, but does it become one of the cofactors that is being reduced so that you don't have so many polyps?
It's not really about the immune system, though.
Okay.
So it's more on inflammation.
Oh, okay.
If you have sinusitis, so sinusitis is inflammation of the sinuses. Okay. So if you have long-term
inflammation of your sinuses, then you increase your risk of developing nasal polyps. So it's really about the inflammation.
Oh, then here people protocols are very helpful because we are
Yes.
very effective for inflammation management.
Right. And of course, for those people who are fond of sneezing too
Often,
strongly,
too strongly.
You exert so much effort to sneeze, or you exert so much effort to blow your nose, then please be careful. Don't blow your nose too hard, because by blowing too hard, then you can have inflammation of your nasal sinuses. Another one is smoking, okay, or secondhand smoke even, okay, or if you're exposed to fumes, like when you cook, you're working inside the kitchen, you're a jeepney driver, you are on the streets, you drive, you are exposed to air pollution, or you're working in the construction industry. Okay, so these occupational risk factors, you have to be careful. Okay, you have to be mindful. Okay, because you are at risk of developing nasal polyps because of chronic sinusitis or chronic inflammation of your sinuses.
So we can see tonight inflammation is a root cause of many issues. This is another reason why when you do your when we supplement, for example, when you are a health enthusiast, you want to take multivitamins, but multivitamins don't really address inflammation directly. So this is why we always say the PPAR tablets is so important, and it's a really great start to any supplementation strategy, because we deal straight on the thing that causes the most problem in today's health, which is inflammation. Sorry, I interrupted you, Sheila.
No worries. A lot of our patients actually appreciate the fact that our protocols here in Simply Nature is just mostly basically just a tandem of two, like the liquid and tablets, powder.
You don't need like 20. You notice, right? Okay, here's the thing. That's very interesting. Some people are wondering, just one or two supplements is enough?
Yeah.
But didn't you hear about every illness? Do you not realize it's one problem? It's not 20 problems. All your 20, 30 illnesses is caused by one common thing, inflammation. So actually, you don't need like a whole 20 tablets all the time. Now, if you are sick, yes, you might need, or if you have terrible diet, then your diet is missing so many things. And that is why some doctors that work with Simply Nature are often molecular doctors. So they prescribe their patients, or functional science doctors, they prescribe their patients a whole long list of supplements. That's because you are already sick and you are trying to have extremely high nutrients in certain areas so that your body can heal better, right? But we are talking about basic supplementation. If you're not super healthy, but you're not sick. Okay? You're not healthy, but you're not sick. That's the condition of most people. So if I ask you, are you healthy? I think everybody is very shy to put up their hands. But at the same time, you're not sick, right? You're not sick. So I think that's the normal condition of most people. Then the basic supplementation strategy, you want to deal not with your lack of vitamin C or anything like that. You want to deal with chronic inflammation. So one of the best supplementations you can do for dealing with chronic inflammation is actually Simply Nature PPAR tablets. All right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Another question coming from Ms. Lucy Mariano. Good PM, 9 years. I am already a 9-year survivor.
Wow, congratulations.
Yes, praise the Lord. My CEA is low. Do I still need to do PET scan or CT scan to monitor if something is coming back?
At this stage,
9 years?
no, not really. You're already 9-year survivor and your CEA is really low. At this point in time, it's symptom-based, no? The monitoring will be symptom-based already.
What do you mean by symptom-based?
I need to know what kind of cancer you have, but if it's CEA, most likely this is colon cancer. So, symptoms would be blood in your stool. Yeah, so those things are alternating constipation and diarrhea for the thing that just happened. Okay, so unintentional weight loss. So those things. No, those might indicate recurrence, but these symptoms can mean other things as well. So at 9 years, okay,
your chances of recurrence would be really low at this point.
So you wouldn't recommend a so-called regular PET scan or CT scan?
No need. You don't need to go for this anymore. Unless you really want to. I mean, I can't tell you not to go for it. I mean, by all means.
Okay, Doc, here's the thing. Money not an issue. Has no phobia about going for scans. Would it be better to go for a PET scan and CT scan?
Guidelines say it's not recommended, even if you have, even if it is just for peace of mind, because there will be a lot of false positives that will come out. But I mean, everybody wants to sleep at night well. Okay, then yeah, go for it, and make sure that have your doctor interpret the scan for you.
Okay, what is false? You just mentioned, you said it could end up with false positives.
Yes, because a PET scanner and a CT scan is highly sensitive and highly specific. Okay, so even with just small things that lights up. Okay,
or you'll scare yourself.
You'll just scare yourself. Okay, it's not really a recurrence.
So what you need is the other symptoms first.
Yes.
To make you realize that you might have cancer. Then you use a PT scan to confirm whether you have cancer.
Okay, so for everybody else who's watching, okay, diagnostic tests are always interpreted in relation to the history and the clinical picture of the patient. Okay?
So you wouldn't take a scan to say, oh, there's something wrong with me. Because you might end up with a lot of false positives.
Yeah, a lot of false positives. And most of the time, you might end up, not sleeping well at night.
And sometimes that causes the thing that you're afraid of.
Anxiety. Yes, okay. So for me, I mean, at this point in time, I think it would be safe to say that you don't have to undergo regular PET scan or CT scan anymore. So well, at this stage, I would be more concerned about your total cholesterol levels, your blood pressure, your fasting blood sugar, because that's the next common thing that happens to people, cardiovascular diseases. Okay, that's especially as we age, and of course here in the Philippines, the food that we eat, right? We all love our lechon, yeah.
So Lucy, congratulations for your 9 years free of cancer. Now, if you really want a good protocol or how to stay cancer resistant and to be healthier, to have good metabolic, no metabolic syndromes like blood pressure, blood cholesterol, all that, you can have a consult with Doc Jansen. Or you can just ask Sheila what you can do.
Or you just want to have your annual physical, just let us know.
Just let us know. But congratulations and sleep well, okay? You are doing fine.
How amazing would it be?
Lucy confirmed that it's colorectal.
Going to see Dr. Jansen without having any health issues.
Yeah, it's great, right? Okay, this is the thing that is really nice. Dr. Jansen is a lifestyle medicine practitioner specialist. So not only do sick people see him, people who want to be very healthy also can see him. So and he's nice to look at, right? So so it's a pleasant consult as well. So why not? I just want to share with everyone. I visit my acupuncturist and in Singapore. Whenever I go back to Singapore, I see my TCM, and every time the bill, I told Doc Jansen, he was pretty shocked. Every time I see my TCM, my bill is about 16,000 pesos. Yeah, look at Sheila's shocked, okay? And I'm not sick. I'm not sick, right? I just go there for maintenance. So for Chinese medicine, honestly speaking, conventional Western medicine is really good for acute illnesses. The drugs work very fast and are very good at addressing acute symptoms. Chinese medicine is actually traditionally used as I won't say it's a preventive. It is fortifying, always strengthening your organs, and that if all your organs are strong, you are not going to develop illness, right? So that's why we see our doctors when we are healthy, and so that we hope that we never get to see them because we are sick.
Yeah.
And Doc Jansen is the only conventional doctor that you will see when you're healthy, because all the other doctors, you go to them only when you are sick.
Yes, and they get pissed off by coming to me
Yeah.
when you do not have.
Yeah, they get angry. You know, you're a regular doctor. There's nothing wrong with you. Stop being a hypochondriac, right? But for Dr. Jansen, his specialty is actually great for people who just want to be really healthy, right? So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I just want to share quickly, sorry Doc, but some of your patients are seeing you looking really good on makeup. Funny. So there. So, go see Doc Jansen. Another question coming from Ms. Carmelita. When should I start screening for breast cancer?
That's a good question.
Some doctors say it's 50. Guidelines is 45 years old. But me personally, if you have a family history of breast cancer, start at age 35. Okay?
Again, a very simple reason: when you catch cancer early, especially breast cancer, it's almost 100% treatable. So you want to catch it early.
Okay, nobody should be dying of breast cancer already. Okay.
Oh wow, that's a great statement. Nobody should be dying of breast cancer.
Yeah, that's what they said with the recent oncology conference that I attended. It's an international St. Luke's Medical Center here in the Philippines hosted it. Okay, so a lot of oncologists around the world attended that conference. It's online, and they are one oncologist who's practicing in Dubai actually told us nobody should be dying of breast cancer already nowadays. Okay? So please, everyone, do everything in your power to prevent it from happening. And if you are already diagnosed with breast cancer, please go for the treatments. Okay? Please follow the recommendations of your doctors.
Oh, for Miss Lucy, your doctor is our good friend, Dr. Katapia, Dr. Jimmy. All right, so yeah. Feel free to ask Dr. Jimmy about PIPA protocols, all right? He might refer you to Dr. Jansen. He might tell you straight away. So, yes, again, Dr. Jimmy actually prescribes lots of soft gels to his patients who undergo chemotherapy. So, to support them while they're going through chemotherapy. And also, of course, for recovery after surgery as well. So yeah, please send my regards the next time you see Dr. Jimmy. He's really a good friend to both me and Dr. Jansen.
Shout out to you, Dr. Jimmy. Another question coming from Ms. Laika. Does higher SPF sunscreen last longer?
No, not really. The SPF is how much UV does it
blocks.
block. Yeah, that's the SPF. Okay, so not really how long it stays on your skin. I guess it would depend on.
It depends on the brand and the quality.
Yes, the quality, the preparation as well. If it's water soluble, of course you
sweat and it's gone.
Right. Yeah, if it's the regular one that you buy from Watson's, the normal one that you wear on when you go to the beach, that would last longer. But again, if you go and swim, you will have to reapply again and again. Okay.
Are they safe for kids?
Yes, of course. They're safe for kids, no. But not babies. There are sunscreen that's more appropriate for infants. Okay, for school age kids, the regular ones that we buy from the pharmacy, from supermarket, those are okay.
Doc, is it really necessary for us to wear sunscreen nowadays?
Yes. Number one, to prevent developing skin cancer because UV,
But when we were young, I mean, Doc, I'm older than you, but I'm sure during the time when you were growing up, we didn't wear sunscreen. Is the sunlight condition different now from like 20 years ago?
I don't think so. I don't think so. If there is a difference, it just might be very
So how come in the past we didn't need sunscreen, or we weren't told to put on sunscreen?
In the past, they did not catch skin cancer very easily. So that's the reason.
How come now? How come now we catch skin cancer?
Yeah, because of the technology.
You mean diagnostics?
Yeah, the diagnostics. So that's one reason. Aside from preventing skin cancer, this is my fiance always tells me, okay, Jansen, you have to wear sunscreen all the time, okay, even if you just stay indoors, okay?
Even indoors?
Yes, it's one reason that she always tells me is to reduce wrinkles or to reduce aging of your skin.
Okay, this is for
So,
beauty
this is
reason,
for,
vanity.
But yeah, true enough, no. If you do it for a long period of time, you'll see the striking difference. When you reach that age, no, 40s, 50s, even when you're already in senior years, yeah, your skin will look better than your counterpart who did not listen to Doc Race.
Okay, so I've got to put on more sunscreen, okay, because I'm turning 50 next year. Okay, that's just very scary. 50. Oh wow. Okay. Richard asks if all cancers are due to genetics. The answer is no.
No.
The major factor of cancer is lifestyle rather than genetics.
Yes. So I actually have a slide about this on one of my PowerPoint on one of my lectures. So genetics leading to cancer is only 5%. Okay. So 95% is because of the environment, because of our lifestyle, and the things, no, that among the factors in our environment, number one would be diet already, that just surpassed tobacco use. Next would be obesity. Next would be infections. And the rest would be the others, the other factors that like your substances, your chemicals, those things. Okay, occupational risk factors, yeah, exposure to chemicals. So, yeah, that's it. So those are the environmental risk factors. Okay.
Sheila, we are hitting 9 o'clock, so perhaps the last few questions.
Yes. I also to greet Miss Lilibeth Palma of course, the Philippines. Thank you for watching again. Her question is, can PPARs help people who have allergic rhinitis?
Yes, in a way, because allergic rhinitis, the trigger is allergy. So it's an overacting immune system again. Okay, so inflammation is very central to allergic rhinitis. Inflammation of the nasal passages, no. So Simply Nature PPARs can help modulate your immune system. So it would be a big help, no. But again, you have to know what is the root cause on why you develop allergic rhinitis in the first place. Is it temperature? Is it exposure to allergens? These things, no. But regardless of the exposure, okay, if you control for the inflammation, it would really be a big help. Actually, no, a plant-based diet can actually work with your probiotics, the good bacteria inside your gut, to reduce your incidence or to reduce episodes of allergic episodes. Not just allergic rhinitis, that will it would also include your asthma. It would also include your skin asthma or your atopic dermatitis. Okay, so yes, Simply Nature PPARs would be a big help.
There you go. Thank you, Dr. Jansen, and of course, thank you, Sir Sean. Just before we go, we say goodbye to our viewers. Right? I just want you to know that not only the people who are on 30s and 40s registered for this event, but also those who are already diagnosed with cancer, and of course those who are preventing because they have histories of cancers in their families. May we have like a quick parting words from the both of you, starting off first with Sir Sean.
All right. We are coming to the end of February. I just want to let everybody know this series of Simply Health Talks has been, I think, the longest running cancer health talk in Southeast Asia, maybe even the world. We've been doing it without fail for the last 2 years, every Thursday night at 7:30, and we will continue to do so. And this year we have some exciting new developments. We'll be doing a new series. We started this year with immunotherapy in the beginning of the year. That was really well received because that's where cancer treatment is moving. So continue to stay tuned to us. We will be having new topics and there'll be new formats coming up in the second quarter of this year. So look out for that. Me and Dr. Jansen are always eager to hear your feedback, and we're always working on it to make the program more dynamic. But throughout the last 2 years, the Ask Me Anything segment, which is the one that we've been exchanging or we've been talking to you for the last hour, has always been the one that people appreciate the most because they are able to ask their questions and have them answered. So we will always do this part. Please share our program with friends and family, especially those who want to understand more about their health, have questions, or not satisfied with the answers their doctors or the person that's selling them their supplements is giving them. So here we are unbiased, we do our very best, and if you have been with us for a long time, you know we are very unbiased, very factual, very impartial in making sure that we answer your question to the best of our abilities. So see you again next week. Dr. Jansen?
Yeah. So we've just talked about on how you can win against cancer, no, which is prevention. That's the number one sure thing way to win against the fight against cancer. Okay, and yeah, I'll just answer one last question. The stomach cancer, because it's showing on my screen. I can't resist it.
You can't resist it.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, stomach ulcer is a major risk factor for developing stomach cancer. Okay, so if you have stomach ulcers, stomach ulcers, one good news about that, it is curable. Okay, so please go to your doctor to address that. Okay, nevertheless, okay, so I just want to thank all of you for staying until 9 p.m. Until this late at night. Thank you for all your support, and please continue supporting this show so we can help in spreading the word, spreading this program to other people who might actually need help. Okay, so yeah, again, thank you everyone for staying with us.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Sir Fan. All right, just before we say goodbye, please, because I'd like to invite everybody for our next webinar next week. But before that, for those of you who wish to explain how PPARS works to your doctors, tomorrow is the best time to do that because we are having the 2023 Cancer Treatment Breakthrough Protocol by oncologist Dr. Jenny Catapia. That's happening tomorrow. Please register, go to our events, and have the link seen there. Okay. Also, for March 2, next week, next Thursday, 7:30 as well, the title of our topic is The Impact of Exercise on Cancer Recovery. Should cancer patients exercise or not? This is a very common question from our patients. So please do watch this webinar next week, and we hope to see you once again. So once again, we would like to say thank you to all of you who are supporting our webinars here. Your victories over cancer is what keeps us going here in Simply Nature. Because here in Simply Nature, we are always with you from the start to healing. Thank you, everybody. Good night, and God bless you all.